Hello and welcome to Fast Horses Today. We are back for opening day at Santa Anita for Friday, September 26th. So let's get started at the great race place. Santa Anita has an opening card, 9-race card. And, they have a big weekend of racing, to start off that fall meet with, I know, a lot of Breeders' Cup prep races over the weekend. So some big races Saturday and Sunday. The Friday card is just kind of, just a little average to be very, very frank. So, I feel like there's some races that it just looks very chalky. Maybe those pick fives will be kind of chalky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it light for opening day. I do have a few win bets I want to make. And then, we'll probably do a little bit more over the weekend when the bigger races are being run. So let's get started with the win bets that we do have for Friday opening day. We're going to start off the meet in the first race, 6 furlongs on the grass, and that's a flat grass course there. This is a maiden special weight race. These are maidens 3-year-olds and up. We do have a small field here to start off the card, but I just want to start off the meet with a winner in the first race. I'm going to make a win bet on the one horse who is Da Capo for John Sadler. Sadler seems to have a couple live horses today, and probably looks like he might have a multiple winning race day to start off that meet. So Da Capo's one of the two program favorites. He's 3-2 in the program. The program favorite's actually the 6 horse being Reno. We'll talk about Reno momentarily, but I do like Da Capo for John Sadler. Sadler puts Hernandez on the horse. Now, I bet this horse last time. This horse ran after a bit of a layoff, probably about a 6-month layoff or so. First start of this horse's career was at Santa Anita. Did get a run over this flat grass course, that being at the 6.5 mark. They're shortening up to 6 here. So, the horse did end up running a decent race. Ended up being on a layoff. They brought the horse over to Del Mar for a mile race. Paco Lopez was on the horse that day. Paco was in to ride horses that day at Del Mar. But anyway, this horse was a favorite. Ended up running, what I thought was a pretty good race first time back. Maybe the horse should have won the race. I don't know. Paco Lopez seemed to just kind of spend most of that race getting acquainted with this horse. And when the real running started in the stretch, the horse that won the race was Tempest Velat. That horse just took the lead and just kept going, and Da Capo couldn't catch him. So I think that race should set this horse up nicely in this 6 furlong race. There should be plenty of energy with this horse. I don't know if they're going to look to go to the lead. It's a small field, so I figure Hernandez will know what to do. 3-2. We'll see if we can get that price. We'll start the meet off in the first race with a win bet on the one horse, Da Capo. I don't really like the 6 horse who is the favorite, Reno. I played that horse over at Del Mar. That horse had a couple sprint races over that 5 furlong grass course. I thought that Reno probably should have won one of those 2 races, should have broken the maiden, had some pretty good trips on, what ends up being good trips there in a 5 furlong grass race where you've got an inside spot on the lead. The horse didn't get it done. I'm not too sure this 6 furlong Santa Anita grass course will be, to this horse's liking. So I think, maybe Reno finishes second again, who knows, but we'll make a win bet on the one horse, Da Capo, in the first race. So we're going to skip over the next several races, move over to the 5th race. 5th race is a mile on the grass, $50,000 maiden claiming, and these are 3-year-olds, as I mentioned, $50,000 claiming. Rails are out at 30 feet. They're preserving their grass course, over at Santa Anita for the big races that are being run over the weekend. So, this ends up being a pretty decent field here of horses. When they run these maiden claiming races, a lot of times these are your horses who are dropping in, from the maiden special weights. They couldn't get it done there. They're putting them in, getting realistic. So that's kind of where I see, with some of these horses. I do have a win bet I want to make here in the 5th race. That being on the 6th horse, who is Double Bay from Michael McCarthy. McCarthy puts Juan Hernandez on the horse. Looks like Hernandez got several live mounts today. Could have a multiple win day to start off the meet. So, McCarthy's a guy, when these maiden claiming races come up, a lot of times it's a debate on, are they giving up on these horses, getting realistic, what is the story? McCarthy's a guy that when he does drop horses into maiden claiming, he does win those races. So I think the McCarthy barn's just very realistic with where they spot horses. When they drop a horse, it's not that the horse is done. It's just, it just maybe doesn't fit their barn's profile or that particular owner's profile. So Double Bay, kind of goes with that theory here. Double Bay had been running in maiden special weights. They did try the maiden claiming last year. The horse lost by a head over at Santa Anita in a 6 furlong grass race, that flat grass race. Lost by a head, so lost pretty much on the wire in a pretty good race. Something went amiss, so We hadn't seen this horse in a while. The horse came back, had run twice at the Del Mar Summer Meet. First race back after that layoff, the horse, took on maiden special weight horses. And I thought the horse ran pretty nicely. Rispoli put the horse on the lead. Horse ended up running nicely with a lot of nice energy. Just got beat by Edge of Molly, in the deep stretch. So they followed that race up with a sprint on the 5 furlong grass course there at Del Mar. It was a maiden special weight race. Now, I think it's really tough for horses to come out of long races to go to those 5 furlong sprints because, those sprints there at Del Mar, it's all about speed and positioning. This horse couldn't get in, couldn't get a rail trip or anything like that. So I felt like the horse just kind of ran an even race. So anyway, I think going back to a mile, dropping in class, like I said, I'm not worried about the McCarthy barn with panic drops. I think they're very good at this type of deal here when they drop horses. 2-1. We'll see if we can get 2-1 on Double Bay. I think it'd be a nice price and a nice win bet in the 5th race. All right, now let's move over to the 6th race of the day. 6th race, it's another maiden claimer. This is a $50,000 maiden claiming race for fillies, and these are California breds. And they're going 5.5 on the dirt on Friday. I have a win bet here I'm going to make. It's another short price, 2-1. That's the 3-horse Fly at Night from Mark Glatt. Mark Glatt puts the 7-pound apprentice, Debu's Chavez on the horse. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this apprentice. I know that this apprentice has been riding in Southern California for a little bit, for a few months. I know that the one win that this apprentice does have was for Mark Glatt. So Mark Glatt, must like this rider. Maybe, uses this rider as a workout exercise rider and then just giving this person a chance, to win a race. So I think what looks like here with Fly at Night, Fly at Night has a problem finishing up races, and that's probably why they're putting this horse in for the 50. This horse had been running with special weight horses in the Cal ranks, in the 4 starts in the career. Has run nice races, including the last race, which came off, a substantial layoff, about a year-long layoff. This horse ended up going 5 furlongs on the grass, coughed up a big lead, which isn't always the best thing, but we're talking about Calbreds here. We're talking about a drop. I think Mark Glatt is doing a really smart move here. This is a 4-year-old running with a lot of younger horses, and they're getting the 7-pound weight break by putting the apprentice Chavez on the horse. So I think it's just a matter of Mark Glatt saying, just go and go. Just go. See if you can make that 5.5 furlongs. I think Fly at Night's probably good enough to do that. There isn't a whole lot in this race. So I think the apprentice, 7-pound apprentice, gets this done, ends up getting a win on opening day, and maybe turns some heads. Ends up getting, more mounts to start off, the career. So as I mentioned, it's 2-1 on Fly at Night. We probably will get somewhere around there. The card just doesn't seem to have a whole lot of opportunities to cash some big tickets, it seems. So I've got these 3 win bets here. So let's recap the day and recap the bets. Okay, so for Santa Anita's opening day for Friday, September 26th, we've got 3 win bets that we're going to make throughout the card. First, we're going to start off the card in the first race with the 1-horse, Da Capo. 5th race, the 6-horse, Double Bay. 6th race, the 3-horse, Fly at Night. Those are 3 win bets there. If you decide to make those win bets, I wish you the best of luck. If you want to use those horses in your multiple race wagers, those last 2 do fall in that late pick 5. I wish you the best of luck with the tickets you can construct for opening day at Santa Anita. Let's wish the folks over at Santa Anita a very safe day of racing to start out their meeting. Let's wish ourselves some great trips. We'll get some good luck and maybe get to start off this meet with some nice winners. As always, I thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today. I thank everyone for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for the increased audience we've had. You can always like, dislike, make comments. I promise to respond to everybody. Let's create a discussion. So again, thank you so much. We're going to get this meet off started at Santa Anita on Friday, and we will be back on Saturday for more coverage with their big races over the weekend in the Breeders' Cup prep. So again, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you back for Saturday coverage at the Great Race Place.